Hat may please be excused from class.
Well, Carl.
Yes.
You hear me? You got it.
Hack.
You got it.
Hack.
You did.
Have a great day. Is this a hacking? Hello everybody, and welcome. This is the Shy Hat, that's me, and we are HackerFrogs. Alright everybody, so on today's stream, what we're going to do is we're going to do two different segments, as is the custom around here. The first hour or so, we're going to be running through a module on the TryHackMe platform, and that module is going to be the one on screen right now, which is called Tomghost. So Tomghost is an easy level TryHackMe challenge room, and we're going to be running through it, and hopefully everybody who wants to can run through it with us, and I'll be going slow and explaining everything that I'm doing along the way so we can better understand what is going on while we compromise this machine. But the second thing we're going to do after we've completed the Tomghost module is we're going to do some hacking development. Rather, we're going to be doing some development for a little project that I started last week, and that is designing a cybersecurity education game. So we're going to be working on that. We're going to be taking a look at how we can create our character inside of this game. And so that's going to be in the second hour of today's stream. So without further ado, we're going to start our first segment. This one is HackerFrogs FreeHack, and we're going to be running through Tomghost on TryHackMe. All right, so everybody, so I will provide the link to this room in the chat to anybody who wants to join along. Of course, you're going to need to have a registered account over at tryhackme.com in order to access this challenge, but you don't have to pay for it. And you can access this with a free account, so there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to hack along with us. All right, so after you've come to this room, there's usually a join room button, which is located. Let me demonstrate how to join the room. So under options, I'm going to leave the room, and then I'm going to go to the search bar, and I'm going to search for this room. It's Tomghost. Okay, and then I am here. And the first thing you need to do is click on this green button right here, which is labeled Join Room. So click on that, and then we'll have access to the room, and we'll be able to start the associated virtual machine with this module. So of course, for free users, you can also do this option right here, which is called Start Attack Box. And this is going to start a virtual machine that is connected to the TryHackMe network. And this is a very convenient way for students to learn, even if you don't have a Kali Linux virtual machine to test with, or a Parrot OS one, or any other type of offensive-oriented virtual machine. So let's click on Start Attack Box to start up our TryHackMe attacking virtual machine. And then inside the web page, we're going to, under Task 1, we're going to click on this button right here, which is labeled Start Machine. And that's going to start up the vulnerable server that is associated with this room. So it's going to take a few minutes for everything to initialize. So we're going to have to be patient while this infrastructure starts up. So we see here that it says that your machine is initializing. So after you start up your attack box, you'll notice that the left-hand pane of this particular web browser tab is now the TryHackMe webpage, and the right-hand pane over here is the TryHackMe attack box. And it seems like there are a few different buttons down here at the bottom of the screen. There's one to extend the amount of time on the virtual machine. There is one to terminate the machine. And there is one to exit the split view. So what we really want to do is we want to put this attack box virtual machine in its own browser pane, and we're going to be able to do that after it's finished initializing over here. So it should be about half a minute more according to the progress timer over here. So today this module is called Ghost Cat. It's not called Ghost Cat, it's called Tomghost. So this logo right here, Ghost Cat, is actually a very telling clue as to how we're going to compromise this machine. So sometimes in cybersecurity challenges, the names of things, or sometimes the information inside the challenge descriptions is very telling as to how we need to approach the box and how to solve it. Okay, so we see here that we've finished initializing our attack box. So what we need to do is we need to click into here and dismiss this terminal right here by hitting the Enter key. And then we can put this in its own browser tab by clicking on this button right here, which is labeled View in Full Screen. So we can click on that, and then we will get a full screen of the virtual machine, which is much more convenient for working inside of it. And then we can go back to the web page over here, and then we can click on this button here labeled Exit Split View. So click on that, and we will have one browser pane browser tab rather, for our TryHackMe webpage and another one for our attack box. Okay, so what we need to do first is we're going to set up our attack box environment. So what we need to do is click on this shortcut right here to start up a terminal. And I'm going to resize this. It's a little bit hard to grab the edges of this window, but I'm going to resize the font a little bit first, make it a little bigger. That might be too big. Let me make it a little smaller. Okay, and I'm going to grab the edges of the window so I can make it nice and big. All right, and over here we can also create new tabs inside of this terminal. So I'm going to create a couple of new tabs inside the terminal. So we go to File, and then we can select the New Tab option. Shift-Control-T is the shortcut, and I'm going to create one more. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. Okay, so we're going to create one more. Open tab. Okay, so we now have 3 tabs. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger as well, and this one as well. All right. So now that we have our environment set up, we can start with our scans. So if we go back to the TryHackMe webpage, we see that we have a target IP address over here, along with a little button that says Copy to Clipboard. So this is very convenient because in order to access this this vulnerable server, we're going to need to use its IP address. So you can click on Copy to Clipboard over here, and I'm going to make this font a little bigger. All right, and then we're going to go to the attack box terminal, and we're going to run our first scan, which is going to be an Nmap scan. So I like to run Nmap with the following flag. So it's -VV for very verbose output, meaning that it's going to show output before the scan is finished, and then we're going to scan all the ports with -P-, and then we're going to run it at a particular speed, so very fast but not too fast, with -T4. And the last thing we need to provide is the IP address, which we will paste in with Control-Shift-V. All right, so when we fire off this Nmap scan, it's going to reveal a few ports immediately. In this case, it discovers port 22, port 8080, and port 53. So to people who are knowledgeable about networking ports, these well-known networking ports, port 22 is associated with SSH, that service for logging in remotely. Port 8080 is often used as a HTTP proxy service, and port 53 is associated with DNS. So that being said, we have this over here. Notes by Nisha says SSH, HTTP, and DNS. Right, and welcome to the stream, Notes by Nisha. Nice to see you here. I hope you haven't solved this one before, because then you'll be repeating yourself. And I like to think that people are learning some new things when they're coming to this stream. Okay, so the first thing we can do is we can navigate to the web page. Notes by Nisha says, I haven't solved this one yet. Okay, well I hope you can learn something new while we work through this box. Okay, so we can go over to the Firefox web browser inside of the attack box and start that up. And we're going to be navigating to the web page on port 8080 in this case. So remember that this web browser is a separate web browser than the web browser that we're actually using for TryHackMe. So it's a web browser inside of a web browser, just like Exhibit would have wanted. So we can go over here, we can paste in the IP address, we can fix it with HTTP at the beginning, and then we can do :8080 to specify we want to communicate on this particular port. Okay, so after we navigate to this page, then we see that we're dealing with this software right here. So this is Apache Tomcat, which is a particular type of web server software, and that is based on Java, if I do remember correctly. And since we see that there is Apache Tomcat running on the server with this particular version, we probably want to search for this version. So this is part of enumeration. So we know that this software is running right here, so we can copy this and we can search for it. So inside of Google, let's see. So okay. So if you're running as a free user, you're not going to be able to access the internet from inside of your attack box, but you can go to your regular web browser, and then you can paste in Apache Tomcat 9.0.30, and immediately inside of the search results there is an exploit. So you know that this is good because exploit appears immediately when you punch in this particular software and version. Okay, so we can click on this search term right here, Apache Tomcat 9.0.30 exploit, and immediately we have an entry from exploit DB. So this is the exploit database, and a lot of challenges in Hack the Box and TryHackMe make use of exploits from exploit DB. So let's check this out. So Apache Tomcat AJP ghost cat file read/inclusion. So we can click on this link, and immediately over here we see that the exploit is called Apache Tomcat AJP ghost cat file read/inclusion, and it says Metasploit. So Metasploit implies that this particular exploit is used with the Metasploit framework, and that means that we're going to have to use Metasploit in order to access this exploit. So you'll also notice that this is called Ghost Cat, and if you go back to the TryHackMe webpage, that there is a logo over here called Ghost Cat. So before we take advantage of this, we should probably read up a little bit about what Ghost Cat is. So we can do that over on another web browser tab, Ghost Cat, Apache Tomcat. And I guess we can punch in exploit. So we can read about this vulnerability over here. So this analysis, there's a Trend Micro article talking about Ghost Cat. So we can click on here, and we can get the gist about this particular vulnerability. So the analysis of Apache Tomcat vulnerability seeks to put the most feared Ghost Cat related scenario into perspective by delving into the unlikely circumstances that would make it possible to allow an RCE through the vulnerability. Okay, so let's take a look. So it says Apache Tomcat is a popular open source Java servlet container. So the discovery of Ghost Cat understandably sets off some alarms. This blog seeks to put the most feared Ghost Cat related scenario into perspective by delving into the unlikely circumstances that would make it possible to allow an RCE through the vulnerability. Thank you very much for following the stream, Neospring. You are now a HackerFrog, and congratulations. So let's play our frog song to celebrate the follow. So frog song. Ribbit says Neospring. Welcome to the stream, Neospring. Okay, so it says here that Ghost Cat was discovered on February 20th. So in this case, we're talking about 2020 by Chai-Tin Tech security researchers who reported that vulnerability exists in the Apache JServe protocol, AJP. The AJP is a binary protocol used by the Apache Tomcat web server to communicate with their servlet container that sits behind the web server using TCP connections. It is mainly used in a cluster or reverse proxy scenario where web servers communicate with application servers or servlet containers. So in simple terms, the HTTP connector is exposed to clients while the AJP is used internally between the web server and the Apache Tomcat server. So it's implemented as a module in the Apache HTTP server, represented as modjk or mod proxy AJP. Okay, so so the thing we should understand about this particular exploit is that AJP is able to access files on the web server, and this particular exploit allows us to read files and potentially write files using this vulnerability. So let's go back to the exploit database exploit over here. So we have our Metasploit module over here that is probably going to let us read files on the web server that is running the vulnerable version of Apache Tomcat. So in order to use this exploit, we can go back to our TryHackMe attack box, and then we can start up our, so this nmap scan is still going, and we'll come back to it a little bit later, but we can go to one of our other tabs, and then we can start up the Metasploit console. So the Metasploit framework console, so it's I think it's called mfs console. This is the command you want to run to access the Metasploit console. All right. Metasploit framework console. So MSF console. I always get this mixed up. Okay, so we're going to run this. It's going to take a little bit to spin up. Let me take a look at my notes real quick. Okay. So the MSF console lets us access Metasploit, and it's basically the program which lets us interact with all of the wonderful hacking tools inside of Metasploit. So these days I don't use Metasploit too often, but if I keep on doing a lot of these demonstrations over here, I suspect I'm going to. But immediately after you spin up Metasploit, there's always going to be a fun little piece of ASCII art over here for us to look at. All right, so once we've activated the Metasploit console, we can search for the exploit we want to use. In this case, we're searching for something related to GhostCat, so we can just search Ghost, and then we can take a look at the results. So there's quite a few number of exploits called Ghost, but fortunately we're able to see that the exploit we want to use here is Tomcat _ GhostCat, and in this search it is known as index 0. So in order to use an exploit inside of the Metasploit console, we would use the use command. So use and then the number of the exploit we want to use. In this case, we would use 0. So we go back down to the bottom here, and then we give the command use 0, and that brings up the module we want to use over here. So this one is located in the following directory, which is admin/http/tomcat _ ghostcat. So you can show, I think you can show the information about this particular module by using show info, and this is going to give you a short summary of what this command does, what this module does rather. So it says Apache Tomcat AJP file read. So this particular module only reads files. So even though there might be the possibility of writing files using this GhostCat exploit, this particular module only reads files. Okay, so it says rank normal license. This license right here, disclose. This is when the module was written over here. Oh no, this is when the vulnerability was disclosed. Okay, and then an interesting thing, the thing that we have to keep note of are these basic options over here. So in order to use any Metasploit module, we're going to need to fill in some of these options over here. In this case, we have the port which is running AJP. There is a default setting over here for this port right here. It asks if it's required, it says no, and there's a description. So there's a file name that is what we want to read. I do believe this is the file that we're going to read when we run the exploit. And then there's an rhost setting over here. So rhost is the IP address or the URL of the target, and we do need to fill this in. And then there's the R port, which is the port that Apache Tomcat is running on, and the default over here is 8080, which is the same as the target that we're working with. Okay, and then it also has SSL equals to false. SSL is usually associated with HTTPS, and in this case it is false. I would assume that in some cases the Apache Tomcat server is going to run with HTTPS, but in this case it does not. So we don't need to set this. So when we go back down, we can begin to configure this module for our use. So we would show options. So this command is going to show us the options again, and then we can start configuring these options. So to set these options, we need to use the set command inside of Metasploit console. So it's going to be set, and then the name of the option over here. So what we need to do is we only need to set this right here, which is rhost, and rhost is the target IP address. So let me grab the IP address really quick from over here, and then we can go back and we can paste it in. All right, so we just need to set this over here, and we should be able to run the exploit after that. So set this, and then we can run the exploit. So in order to run the exploit, we can just use we can use either run or we can use the execute command. So if you want to be dramatic, you can use the execute command, otherwise you use the run command. So we execute this. Oh, no, it's not execute, it's exploit. Right. So to run the command, run the module, it's either going to be run or it's going to be exploit. So if you want to feel dramatic, you can use exploit. Okay, so the exploit ran, and then it shows us our HTTP status code, and apparently we're making some sort of web request right here. And inside the web request, we were able to read this particular file over here, web-app.xml, which has a bunch of information about this application, and it says welcome to GhostCat, and then we have some user credentials right here. So this set of credentials is going to be username and then colon and then password over here. So we can copy these credentials and we can save them somewhere so we can use them. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to put it over here in one of my notepads. And then after that, we're done. So we're done with this particular module. We managed to get a set of credentials, and we can exit out of here. So we can just hit exit, and then we're done with the Metasploit framework console. Okay, so now that we have this particular set of credentials, what could we do? So before you answer that, let's take a look at what ports are open on this web server here. So we've got port 22, we've got port 8080, we've got port 53, and we've got port 8009. And if you remember that when we're using the exploit module, that port 8009 was associated with the AJP service, and that is what enabled the exploit to work, because we were communicating with this particular service. All right, so with what we just captured right there, we have our set of credentials. So what we could do is we could potentially test the server for password reuse. So if we know about this particular server name, and we have the password, we could try to log in to the server using SSH. So we would do SSH and then the username that we captured there, and then the IP address. So this is the IP address right here. So we're going to copy that and we're going to paste it in, and then we're going to try to log in with SSH. It's going to ask us if we want to continue connecting. We say yes, and then we need to insert the password. Okay, so where is the password? This is the password right here. So we're going to copy that, and then we're going to paste it in, and we are in. All right, so we put on our favorite Hollywood hacker voice and say, we're in. Okay. And let's take a look at who we are. So we are this particular user right here, and we can test for sudo permissions by using the following command, sudo l. This is one of the first things. Yes, Notes by Nisha says we are in. That is correct. Okay, so what I like to do when I first land on any Linux box is I like to run this command, sudo l, to see if we have any elevated permissions with any particular programs. And we need to input the password for this colorful user, and it says that the user may not run sudo on Ubuntu. So I guess that's the name of the of this box right here. So if we do host name, then it's going to tell us the name of the server over here. And so the second thing that I like to do is I like to look for flags. So we can search for the flag by using the following command. So we're just going to use a simple find command, and we're going to look for user.txt on this server here. So this is something I like to do as soon as I get onto a system, because we're going to need to search for two flags on the system. There's one that when we have user level access, and there's another one for when we have root level access. So we're going to run this find command, and it's going to tell us that the user.txt file is located in the Merlin users directory. Okay, so we can just, so first of all, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to clear the screen because I don't like being at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to cat out this file, and we get this flag right here. Ghost cat is so crazy, isn't it though? Okay, so copy this, and we can supply this to the TryHackMe page. So there's two questions over here. The first one, compromise this machine and obtain user.txt. And we can paste this in and submit. All right, this is done. Okay, so we go back, and so for the next step, we're going to need to do a little bit of enumeration. So we're in the home directory for this user right here, and if we look inside of this directory, there are a couple of unusual things right here. So there's this file right here called credential.pgp, and there's another file called TryHackMe.asc. So if we didn't know about these two files, we could easily do a little bit of research with ChatGPT. So if we were to ask what is the .pgp file extension, we could ask this right here. What is the .pgp file extension? What is the .asc file extension? Okay, in this case, these file extensions are associated with encryption and digital signatures, often used in secure communications. So PGP stands for pretty good privacy, and they're files used to store data that have been encrypted using PGP, pretty good privacy encryption software. So basically, a PGP file is an encrypted file that has been encrypted with a particular method. In this case, it's called pretty good protection, pretty good privacy, rather. And the other file is the ASC file, which is also called ASCII armored files. And these are text files that contain PGP encrypted data or PGP public keys in ASCII text format. So what we're dealing with over here is one file that contains the key to open up the other file over here. So credential.pgp can be opened up with TryHackMe.asc. So if we didn't know anything about PGP and ASC and the relationship between these two, we could probably do a bunch of Googling to figure out how these programs work. But I'll tell you that what we usually do when we use ASC keys with .pgp encrypted archives is that we do the following. So we need to have the GPG program in order to decrypt the files, and we see that it is installed on this server here. And what you would do is GPG import, and then the name of the key, which is tryhackme.asc, and then that is going to let us use the key with the with any of the archives that we want. And the second thing we would do is we would do gpg-decrypt credential.pgp. So here is where we run into a problem. So over here, it says you need a passphrase to unlock the secret key for TryHackMe. Okay, this particular keyword over here, we need a passphrase to use the key. And we need to enter the passphrase, but we don't know the passphrase. So what could we potentially do to get the key for this ASC file? So this key needs a passphrase. What can we do to get this key? So we don't know what the key is right now. So we can just exit out of here with Control C. And if we're to read the file tryhackme.asc, so if we were to just cat it out, let me clear first, cat out tryhackme.asc, then this looks very similar to the type of key that is used by SSH actually. So what we actually need to do in this case is we need to copy this. So we can copy this file right here, the entirety of the file, and we can just hit Control-Shift-C to copy this, and then we can try to crack this file on our attacking machine. So we can go over to another tab, and then we're going to use the nanotext editor, and we're going to create our own tryhackme.asc. But this one is going to be on our attacking box, as opposed to on the vulnerable server. So I'm going to clear this. I'm going to go back to our attack box, and I'm going to nano into this file right here. We can paste in the contents of the file, and then we can save it by hitting Control X. And then save modified buffer, hit yes, and then hit enter to save the file. All right, so now we have an identical copy of the file on the web server. And we can use, Neospring says, ribbit, heading to bed, gonna lurk. Thank you very much for lurking, Neospring. And yeah, if you come back later, you can take a look at the recording and maybe you can follow along with us. But welcome to the stream, and I really appreciate you lurking for us. All right, so we can use John the Ripper, which is our favorite password cracking program. And Cheeto Bandito is now a HackerFrog. Welcome, Cheeto Bandito. I recognize your name from GoPro Slow Yo's stream. So let's welcome in Cheeto Bandito with the, this is not where we do it. we do a redeem. So that's going to be hash bang redeem, and let's give you the northern flicker. So this is a type of woodpecker. That's one of the many calls of the northern flicker woodpecker. If you want to know what the northern flicker woodpecker looks like, northern flicker, it looks just like this, and it's probably one of the prettiest birds in my area. I don't know about where you guys live, but and it has a really long tongue, as you can see over here. And what it really likes to do is it likes to attack ant hills and eat up all the ants inside. So that's what these little guys do. So, oh, I don't want to look at that. Okay, let's go back. But welcome to the stream, Chico Bandito. All right, so we're going to use John the Ripper in order to crack the password for this file right here. What we need to do is we need to modify this particular file into a format that John the Ripper likes by using a program called gpg2john, and then we supply the name of the file. It's tryhackme.asc. We're going to redirect the output of that command into tryhackme.hash. Okay, so after that, we have tryhackme.hash, which is the hash that we got out of tryhackme.asc. And if we cat that out, whoops, do that again, .hash, tryhackme.hash. It is this right here. So this particular hash is a GPG hash, which we can tell by this particular prefix right here. We see that TryHackMe is the name of the user that is associated with this, and we see the rest of the hash right here. Okay, so in order to crack the hash, we're going to run John the Ripper, and this is how you do it. It's going to be John, and then we have to supply a word list, and that's going to be equal to it's going to be equal to a particular file, which we like to call rocku.txt. On the attack box, it's inside user share word lists rocku.txt, and then we need to supply the name of the file to be cracked, and it is tryhackme.hash. Okay, so we run John the Ripper, and it obtains the passphrase for this particular file, which is this right here, Alexandru. Okay, so now that we have this, we can unlock the GPG file on the server. So let's go back to the server, and let's try our previous command again, which is, so remember, first of all, we imported the key over here, and which with this command right here, gpg -- import, and then the key, and then we tried this one, decrypt, gpg -- decrypt credential.pgp. So we tried this, but because we didn't know the passphrase before, we couldn't use this. But now we can, because we know that the passphrase is Alexandru. So let's type that in, Alexandru, and then press enter. Okay, so over here, this is the output of the command. The formatting is a bit screwed up, but this is the important part of the file. So inside of the credential.pgp PGP file is this set of credentials right here. So this is the other user on the box. So it's this one is Merlin, and then the comma, and then Merlin's password, which is this long string right here. So we're going to copy this set of credentials for our use, and then we're going to paste it into our notes, and then we're going to try to log in as Merlin. So we're going to clear this, and we're going to switch users over to Merlin. So SU Merlin, and then we need to supply a password. So we just got the password. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it into the console. Authentication failure. Okay. Let me grab the password one more time. The passphrase is Alex Andrew. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this password portion right here. And that's the end of the password. I'm going to copy that. Okay, and then I'm going to switch users to Merlin. And I'm going to paste in the password. And we are now Merlin, okay? So we can go to Merlin's home directory, and we can see if there's anything in here. So there's just the user.txt file in here. But remember that the first thing you want to do when you get access to a new user account is you want to test out which sudo permissions it has. So of course that's going to be sudo-l, and it doesn't ask me for the password. So I guess it might be because we just logged in as Merlin. So it says that user Merlin may run the following commands on Ubuntu, which is this server. So it says run it as root with no password, user bin zip. So user bin zip, so this is the these are the elevated privileges when we run this particular command, zip. So of course, what we want to do is we want to see if this particular binary is vulnerable to privilege escalation, and we can do so over at the GTFO bins website. So we can access that. So we can take a look at gtfobins.github.io, and then we can search for the zip binary, zip. Okay, so we're here. So zip, and we have sudo access to zip. So we can just click on this button right here for sudo. Okay, so under sudo, there's this entry right here. If the binary is allowed to run as superuser by sudo, it does not drop the elevated privileges and may be used to access the file system, escalate, or maintain privileged access. So it gives an example of how to elevate your privileges with zip right here. So the first thing it does on this line right here is that it sets a variable right here. So a variable, and the variable is called tf, and it's equal to this command right here, mktemp-u. So what this command does is that it creates a temporary file, and I'm not too sure what this flag does, but we can ask our know-it-all friend. Whoops, that's not. Okay, so what is this command? And then we can paste it in. Oh no, this is not what I wanted to do. Hold on. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to go back. But what is this command? Okay. Okay, so let's see. So make temp-u is used to create a unique temporary file or directory in a Unix-like operating system without actually creating the file or directory. The -u option stands for unsafe, which means it generates a unique name and outputs it, but doesn't create the file or directory. This can be risky because there's no guarantee that the name will remain unique by the time you use it. potentially leading to security issues if another process creates a file with the same name. Okay, so this is what we do to elevate our privileges, and the second step is to do this right here, which is sudo zip with the variable name tf, which is equal to the output of this make temp file, and then it runs it on this particular file right here, etc hosts. So we're trying to zip etc hosts, but with these particular options right here. I'm not sure what these particular options do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask what these particular flags do. So using the zip command, what are the flags -T and -T? The -T flag is used to test the integrity of the newly created zip archive. It verifies that the archive can be read and that the contents match what is expected. And the -TT flag allows you to specify a custom command to be executed for testing the archive. This is useful if you want to perform a more specific or complex test on the contents of the archive. Okay, so this right here is the flag that we can use with zip in order to elevate our privileges, because this right here lets us run a command at the same time that we run the zip command. All right, so let's take a look. So the last part of this command is to run sh, and sh is a shell. So what this is going to do is it's going to spawn a shell at the same time that it creates the zip file, and because it is run as sudo, it's going to create a root shell. And the last command right here is that it's going to remove the temporary file over here. So in actuality, we don't need to run this last command. We only need to run these first two commands in order to compromise the machine. So let's do that. So we'll copy this command, and then we'll run it, paste it in and run it. So we now have our variable, and then we're going to run our zip command with sudo, which is going to spawn a shell for us. So copy that, and then run this command. And what it tried to do is, it zipped this file right here, etc hosts, but it also spawned our shell. So I'm going to clear here, and then I'm going to ask, who am I? We are root. You can actually tell that we're root because the prompt over here has this hash over here, also known as an octothorpe, I think it's called. But anyways, we're root, so we have to run this this redeem right here.
What are you?
I'm system root.
Okay, and now that we are root, we can read the root flag inside of the root directory. So we can cd into root, and then we see that there are two files in here, and there's a file and a directory. So let's read the root flag. All right, and this is the flag right here to finish the exercise. Zip is fake. So we can copy this, and we can feed it to the TryHackMe website. And then we are done. Congratulations, you completed the room. We can share this with our friends. If we want to share this on Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn, we can do that. But yeah, we are done. So what did we do in this box? Let's summarize it. So inside of the box, we did our scans on the server, and we found that these ports were open. We saw that there was an HTTP proxy port open on this box, so we decided to visit the web page. On the web page, it told us what software, which server software it was running along with the version. So we decided to search for this particular combination, this software and this version, which led us to the vulnerability over here. and the exploit that we found on exploit database. And then we were able to access it on our attack box over here. And we used Metasploit console in order to exploit the, to take advantage of the exploit and to read a file, which gave us credentials that were reused for SSH, and then we were able to access the box. And then from there we found this user right here. Inside of their home directory, they had a PGP file and a key file. We were able to copy the value of the key file and crack the passphrase out of it, and then we were able to access these credentials inside of this archive, and we were able to find another user's credentials. So we did some lateral privilege escalation over to that user account, and that user account was able to access the zip binary with pseudo permissions. And so we did some research over at gtfobins.github.io, which gave us the method of privilege escalation using sudo and the zip binary. And so we did that, and in doing so, we were able to get root access to the box and finish the exercise. All right, so thank you very much to everybody, and especially anybody who decided to run the exercise along with us. I'm curious as to whether or not anybody else was following along. If you did so, please leave us a message in chat and maybe say, I'm ghosting this cat. And then maybe if you're on Twitch, you can send the cool cat emote, just like that. All right, so everybody, thank you very much. And we're going to be switching over to our second topic for the night. And our second topic is going to be talking about game development. So in order to prep for that, we're going to turn the music back on, because this is a little bit more casual than the first portion. Okay, so everybody, if the music is too loud, please let us know if the music's too loud, if you can't hear over me. All right, Notes by Nisha says, I'm ghosting this cat. Well, I'm happy to hear that you managed to solve the box along with us. And I'm gonna ask you, Notes by Nisha, have you done very much with Metasploit in your previous experience? I know you've solved quite a few boxes on both TryHackMe and Hack the Box. I'm just wondering how familiar you are with Metasploit and whether or not you enjoy using it. So I know for people who don't have very much experience with Metasploit, it can be a bit intimidating. But some people really love using Metasploit modules. Okay, so I'm going to change up my overlays as well. Oh, I forgot to change this one. That's embarrassing. Okay, but this is so we're going to talk about character creation inside the game that we're creating today. And the bottom, we're talking about hacked out. And this is the education game. Let me center this stuff out so it doesn't look embarrassing. That's better. A little better. Okay. So everybody, last week we started talking about our education game concept. And if you take a look at GitHub, we've got HackDev inside of a directory over here, and we're talking about our game ideas. So we talked about the game ideas last week, and if you wanted to take a look at this, the file we've created, you can do so at this particular link right here. So we started talking about what the goals are of this educational game, So we're going to introduce and teach cybersecurity skills through playing the game, and we're going to teach about these particular skills. So Linux and Python and web app hacking and x86 assembly stuff, digital forensics, binary hacking, reverse engineering. So these are basic CTF categories in cybersecurity games. In particular, I was thinking about Pico CTF. Oh, and Notes by Nisha mentioned that she was doing a Women in Cybersecurity CTF. I'm wondering, Notes by Nisha, when is that event starting up? Is it has it already started, or is it coming up later on this month? But what kind of game mechanics or features are we going to see in this game? So we're going to track in-game statistics. Players are going to manage their health and their stress. It started yesterday. Oh, have you already solved a lot of challenges? It runs through August 8th. Wow, that's a really long event time. So that's like, is it like 3 weeks? Digital Warhead says, hey, Digital Warhead. It is the cyber defense by Target and YSys. So I remember you said that this is a private event, so members of the public don't have access to it. And Nospanisha says that they worked through the tutorial lesson yesterday. Is it separated into like your typical categories like digital forensics and like maybe a general category, a Python category, and some other stuff? Yeah, it's a member-only event. Okay. Digital Warhead, welcome. And did I see you in somebody else's stream before? Just wondering. But welcome to the stream. Okay, so what else are we going to be doing inside this game? We're going to be creating schedules and doing time management. We're going to be making friends and maintaining friendships. Notes Manisha says this one appears to be a little different as both offensive and defensive challenges included. Well, I'd love to hear more about it after you've had a bit of time to take a look at the challenges, because I'm very interested in CTF games, and whether or not it looks very different from something like Pico CTF, for instance. But yeah, so inside the game, we're hoping to have an in-game CLI terminal for Linux and Windows, etc. Maybe we will do some hacking in the game as well as hacking the game itself. But we're going to be running this game on an engine called RenPy, which is usually made to create visual novels. And visual novels are very closely associated with Japanese games. It's usually you're talking to a bunch of people and making decisions and maybe forming friendships with people in the game. These games over here are some games that I was looking for as inspiration for this game that we want to create. And we're going to be using a bunch of free resources to create assets for the game. Inside of game development, assets are basically the graphics and the sounds or the music that you use inside of the game. And we determined that we could get some pretty good free results from Bing, that is Copilot, and Google Gemini. And there's all sorts of free sound and music resources as well. But let me show you what the game engine is that we're going to be using for this game. So this is called RenPy, and let's go to the page. So RenPy is located at this website right here. What you can do is you can download RenPy for use with your computer. And then after that, you just need to extract the archive, and then you can start playing around with the game engine. So I have it in my downloads directory. So inside of this directory here, you can start up RunPy. Okay, so that took a little bit to start up. So I created a little project right here. It's called HackerFrogs FreeHack. But we can also take a look at what the gameplay for a typical game created with RunPy might be like with this project right here called The Question. So this is basically a tutorial project, and it shows you what RunPy is usually like. So I'll just go through this really quickly. It's a very short demonstration right here. Digital Warhead says, I don't know if you saw my reply earlier, but I found your stream through BreakSec. Oh, BreakSec. That's probably where you've seen me before. Oh, Ward. Yeah, okay. I see your message now. Yeah, probably in BreakSec stream. He rated you once. That's how I found your channel. Well, I'm glad to see you back. But I don't know if you're interested in game design or not. But let's start up this game right over here. And I can't tell which emote that is. Let me take a look. It looks like that is oh, thumbs up. Okay. All right. So this is so you see that so all the graphics inside of a RunPy game, you can customize all that. So these kind of graphics right here, these could potentially be created with AI. So I'm confident in my ability to create graphics that look kind of like this. But if we were to, so each RunPy game is going to basically is essentially going to have the same start screen. It's going to have like a start button, a load button, preferences, and something basically like this. I think you can modify the layout of these options a little bit. But if you click on start over here, okay, so immediately we're put into the game. And we have a background, and then we have some text over here. So it's only when I hear sounds of shuffling feet and supplies being put away that I realize that the lecture's over. Professor Eileen's lectures are usually interesting, but today I just couldn't concentrate on it. I've had a lot of thoughts on my mind, thoughts that culminate in a question. It's a question I've been meaning to ask a certain someone. And then we transition away to another scene over here. When we come out of the universities, I spot her right away. I've known Sylvie since we were kids. She's got a big heart, and she's always been a good friend of me. But recently, I felt that I want something more. More than just talking, more than just walking home together when our classes end. And as soon as she catches my eye, I decide. So this is the core gameplay of visual novels is basically at certain junctures, you're going to choose something, and that's going to... So it's basically a choose-your-own-adventure in the form of a game. So we can choose here these two options to ask her right away or ask her later. So we're going to choose ask her later. I can't get up the nerve to ask right now. With a gulp, I decide to ask her later. But I'm an indecisive person. So each time you make one of these decisions, it's going to run you down a different path inside of the story. I couldn't ask her that day, and I end up never being able to ask her. I guess I'll never know the answer to my question now. So this is called the bad ending. Okay, so we can go back and we can redo our choice over there. I think we can skip with this button, and this time we can ask her right away. Okay. I can't bring myself to admit that it all went in one ear and out the other. Are you going home now? Want to walk back with me? Sure. Okay, so we switched to another scene. After a short while, we reached the meadows just outside the neighborhood where we both live. It's a scenic view that I've grown used to. Autumn is especially beautiful here. When we were children, we played in these meadows a lot, so it's full of memories. Hey, she's turned to me and smiles. She looks so welcoming that I feel my nervousness melt away. I'll ask her, will you be my artist for a visual novel? Silence. She looks so shocked that I began to fear the worst, but then... Sure, but what's a visual novel? We can answer, it's a video game. It's a kind of video game where you can play on your computer or a console. Visual novels tell a story with pictures and music. Sometimes you can make choices that affect the outcome of the story. So it's like choose your adventure books? Exactly. I've got lots of different ideas that I think could work. And I thought maybe you could help me since I know how you like to draw. It'd be hard for me to make a visual novel alone. Sure, I can try, I just hope I don't disappoint you. You know you can never disappoint me, Sylvie. And so we became a visual novel creating duo. Over the years, we make lots of games and have lots of fun making them. We take turns coming up with stories and characters and support each other to make some great games. And one day, Sylvie says, "Hey, yes? Will you marry me?" What? Where did this come from? Come on, how long have we been dating? A while. These last few years, we've been making visual novels together, spending time together, helping each other. I've gotten to know you and care about you better than anyone else. And I think that goes for you too, right? Sylvie. But I know you're the obsessive type. If I held back, who knows when you'd propose. So will you marry me? Of course I will. I've been meaning to propose, honest. I know. I guess I was too worried about timing. I wanted to ask the right question at the right time. You worry too much. If only this were a visual novel and I could pick an option to give you more courage. We got married shortly after that. Our visual novel duo lives on even after we're married, and I try my best to be more decisive. Together we live happily ever after even now. Good ending. Okay, so this was very simplified, but this is the core gameplay of visual novels. Of course, the game that we're making is going to be a little bit more complicated than this. So I'm going to show you the script for what this kind of game looks like. And we're going to exit. So inside the project here, we can take a look at the script file, and the script file is in the RPY format, which is a modified Python file. So RenPy script files look a lot like Python, and you'll see how they do. Okay, so when I open this up, it's going to open up in Visual Studio Code because that's the IDE that I set up. And I'm going to make this bigger. And I think I can make the font bigger. Can I make the font bigger with Shift Control Plus? I can, okay. All right. So basically, at the top over here, we're going to create some variables. So we're going to define S, and that's going to be equal to a character. So this is the dialogue. This is determining the dialogue. So S is going to be the dialogue that Sylvie speaks, and M is going to be the dialogue that the main character speaks, rather. Okay. So this is a variable that is true if you compared a VN to a book and false otherwise. So this is a flag inside of the game. So if you make certain decisions, you're going to change certain flags inside of the game, and that's going to unlock certain dialogue choices or certain paths. And Mike just subscribed on YouTube. Welcome, Mike, and welcome to the HackerFrogs. I'm going to give you a redeem, and it's going to be the Stellar J. So these are my favorite birds. Well, I mean, the northern flicker is also my favorite bird, but the Stellar Jays are my actual favorite bird. So let me show you what the Stellar Jays look like. Actually, if you go to YouTube at the Shy Hat, then you're going to see that there are some Stellar J videos on here as well. So if you go to the shorts, you'll see that some Stellar Jays are the stars of my shorts videos. So I put them on the bottom over here so that people can watch them while they take a look at the shorts content. So for example, over here, Mike says, "Cool, thanks. What can I do with that?" What can you do with? I'm not sure what that refers to. But I'm just I'm just saying that I'm just trying to show some appreciation for you subscribing to the channel. But we are a cybersecurity channel, and if you're interested in beginners cybersecurity, then you can certainly watch our live streams, and you can take a look at the videos on the YouTube page, and hopefully you can learn a little bit more about cybersecurity with us. Especially we've got all of our previous live stream sessions over here. They usually have a follow along component for subjects like web app hacking, or Linux OS operations, or Python programming. And then we have another topic usually in our live streams where we talk about whatever you redeem. I just played a little video for you on the stream. That's all. That's what the redeems are. You can redeem them as well. So if you take a look at, let's see. So we've got a bunch of different redeems that you can do with the exclamation point redeem, and so you can do exclamation point redeem, and then you can follow it up with a command like no flicker is this hack the planet. Oh, we haven't done hack the planet yet, Mike. Why don't you try? So you do exclamation point redeem and then space and then hack the planet, because we haven't seen hack the planet yet tonight. So you have to put, so it's exclamation point redeem and then space and then hack the planet.
Hack the planet! Hack the planet! Shut up again!
So that's from the notorious movie Hackers from like the 1990s. But we love our memes over here. Okay, so let me show you the that was a great movie. That's true, Digital Warhead. But let me show you the script that I created for character creation for this game. And we can find that in the scripts directory that I created on the HackerFrogs GitHub over here. So this is the script.rpy. So I'm going to get the raw file, and I'm going to copy everything. Select all. Where is that? Is select all? Is there a keyboard shortcut for select all? Anyway, I'll just highlight everything. Okay. Digital Warhead says, still holds up to its time. Digital Warhead also says, have you heard about the pool on the roof? That's from the movie, but I can't remember what happens with the pool. Oh, the pool on the roof. Yes, now I remember. Yeah. I have heard about the pool on the roof. Okay. So let me copy this, and then we're going to do a little bit of manipulation with the exit out of here. Where is exit? There we go. So HackerFrogs Cyber Friends, we're going to open the directory. We're going to open the game directory. And there's the, where's the script file? Here it is. I'm going to open this up. So we're going to open this up with Visual Studio Code. Oh, Microsoft Visual. I can't really tell the difference between VS Code and like the regular one. So I'm going to skip this. What is this? I don't like this. I like my music without lyrics, thank you. Ah, much better. Okay, so I've got my Visual Studio right here. Let's see if I can make it. Oh, I can increase this, okay. So I'll tell you right now, I'm not super comfortable working inside of IDE environments. Digital Warhead says I see you're a cybersecurity student. I am too. I'm about 80% done with my bachelor's in cybersecurity and information assurance. Oh, are you working? So you're at school for cybersecurity. I'm actually very interested in cybersecurity college programs and exactly what they put inside of their curricula. I've heard that in the past the quality of cybersecurity education at universities wasn't very good, but I hear that it's much better these days. But yeah, so I'm going to paste in what I wrote for my script here. Paste. Okay. So over here we've declared a bunch of characters. So the character that there are two characters that I've created for character creation. There's basically your best friend, which is this person called Good. And this person is going to ask you a bunch of questions. They're going to ask you a bunch of questions to create your character. And then there are a bunch of statistics that we're going to be tracking while we answer these questions to create the character. So let me run through the character creation just to show you what we have so far. So I'm going to minimize this, and then inside of RenPy, we're going to launch the project. So we can launch the game, and we can see what we've written up to this point. So it's actually very easy to do testing with these RenPy games. So I'm going to press start, and so these are placeholders right here. Oh, my script didn't update, but it says you created a new RenPy game. Once you add a story, pictures, and music, you can release it to the world. Great. Okay, so I'm going to quit, and I think I didn't save this file, so I'm going to save this. So save this. Okay, and I think after that, right, we can launch the project, and it's going to use the script that I wrote. So I'm going to start this. So this is the placeholder art for our character Good, and Good says, "Hello, hello, who is this?" And there's a menu right here. What is your first name? Click here. So we need to click on this to so we can input our first name. I'm going to say my name is Shy for my first name, and I'm going to type my last name. So Hat is the last name, and then so my name has been replaced over here with whatever I typed in for my first name. So it's me, Shy Hat. Shy, you say? You're not calling from your mobile, so I'll have to confirm that it's you. So we're assuming that this is going to be on this is going to be a telephone conversation. So after we run through this, I'm going to start replacing some of the assets because I created some assets earlier using AI, and I'm going to start making this look a little bit better afterwards. So I'm going to confirm your identity. So I'm going to have to confirm that it's you by asking a few questions. So security questions. Trust but verify, mate. First off, are you a bloke or a bird? And so we're assuming that that our best friend Good over here is from Britain. So they talk with a British accent and with British vocabulary and mannerisms. So we've got some options here: bloke, bird, bloke, bird, what? And my favorite choice right here: why are you British? So if we were to ask, why are you British? Just lucky, I suppose. Now to the question, are you a bloke or a bird? So I don't speak British, mate. What do those two words even mean? Blokes are boys, birds are girls. Now one more time, are you a bloke or a bird? And then we have to choose our gender by answering if we're a bloke or a bird. I'm going to say I'm a bloke. And then the answer, that sounds about right. And your birth date. So here we enter our birth date. It's going to be in the format month, year. So I'm going to say 0214 on Valentine's Day, and then enter. You entered 0214, month 2, day 14. Is this correct? So we get to finalize, and if it's not, we can enter the birth date again. 0214. Okay, and we can confirm that. Next. And then we can say, what, more questions? And then we get the answer, gotta ask you more than just what's on your ID card, you know? And then we get the question, would you say you grew up with a lot of money? So this is gonna determine whether or not we start off our game as a rich person or a poor person. So money, nope. I didn't get all the brand name stuff in high school, if that's what you mean. And money, I'd say we had enough to be comfortable. So anybody with a lot of money will never say that they're rich. They will always say that they have enough money, or that they're comfortable with the amount of money they have. You can't, but I guess there are exceptions. But this is a very this is kind of a meme line, especially if you watch the movie Crazy Rich Asians. But I'd say money. I'd say we had enough to be comfortable. Okay, one last question. Which uni program were you studying for last year? So in this game, we're going to suppose that that our character is kind of sick. They're sick of studying for whatever they studied for last year in university. So we're a second-year student, and we were deciding to get into cybersecurity at the beginning of our second year in university. So we can answer computer science, creative writing, just taking classes to keep my sports scholarship, and performing arts. So each one of these is going to give us some statistics, so a boost to our stats in some particular, in one or two of the stats. So I'm going to say I was in computer science. So let me get this straight. You're a bloke named Shy Hat, and your birth date is this birthday, and you grew up rich, and you were studying computer science last year. Is that your story? So you can say that's correct, or you can say I'd like to change my story. So at this character creation screen, after you've decided your the decisions for your character creation, you can change your story, or you can confirm it. All right, from the answers you provided, you're either the real Shy Hat or a scammer with some wizard AI. So what do you need? Let's meet up at the Pacific Center food court. So another thing about this game is that I'm going to set it inside of my hometown, which is Vancouver, and Pacific Center is a prominent mall which is located in downtown Vancouver. Sure, mate, but why? I'll explain later. Just be there in 30 minutes. Okay, I'll see you there. Okay? Hey, mate, why do you want to meet up here? Lost my phone yesterday, so and then that's where the gameplay code should look like this. One, there should be a section for each. Okay, I didn't mean to include this in the dialogue. Okay, so that's what I have so far. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to make this look nice and pretty. So we're going to quit, and then we're going to look at the script again. Lol code leak. Yeah. I'm actually not used to developing, so I guess we could say that there's still some things that need to be fixed up. So let's see, where's my code? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to scene BG room, show up background. This uses a placeholder by default, but you can add a file named either bgroom.png or bgroom.jpg to the images directory to see it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to start making prettier graphics. So I'm going to grab the images that I created from my GitHub, and they're just over here. So let's go over to the assets directory over here. So if you wanted to take a look at these files yourself, you can take a look at the link over here, and I'm pretty sure you can download all the files here if you really wanted to. So I've got assets, we've got backgrounds. Have I not uploaded the backgrounds yet? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm going to have to upload them right now. Hold on, everybody. Okay, so let me just... go over to Education Game Project Backgrounds. So I've got my backgrounds over here, and I'm going to upload them to GitHub. I need to include some comments. Hold on. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Let me grab my files. 1, 2. I've got 2 files. Okay, and I'm going to commit. And now I should be able to see the files in here. Oh, I must have put them in the wrong directory. Hold on, I'm going to try to add the files again. Okay, commit the changes. Okay, yeah, they should be uploaded now. Okay, so I took a look at them. So I've got these 2 files over here. There's a Cafe Interior and Mall Food Court. So these are some, some files I created using AI. So I'm just gonna download them, and then I'm gonna put them in the correct directory. Copy, copy, cut and paste. So where is the, put it in documents, HackerFrogs CyberFriends, and then there is an images, we can paste in. Okay, so let's see if we can get this background to show up. So the image was called Cafe Interior. Or do I need to call this background Cafe Interior? Let me go over to here, scene, so it's BG, so named either bgroom.png or bgroom.jpg. Okay, so let me change the name of the file. Where's the rename option? bgroom. Okay, and then when we start up the game, start. Okay. Oh, this is too small. Okay, but all right. Well, it looks it's a work in progress. Okay, so hello, who is this? All right, so we know that this is here, and yeah. So I just need to resize this a little bit later. Okay, so the next thing we can do is we can include a sprite for the person who's talking. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of here. And then we're going to go into the script file. Okay, so you can replace it by adding a file called named eileenhappy.png to the images directory. So in this case, we're going to use a file called good default. In this case, I think I have a graphic that I just created, and I'm going to upload it. But first, I'm going to rename it. And then I'm going to upload it to the GitHub. And add file, create new file. Whoops, not create new file. Upload file. Okay, and then we're going to go over to GitHub to grab it. And it should be in characters over here, and this file right here. So this is a picture of a phone. Although it really doesn't look like it doesn't really look like a picture of a phone up close. It looks suspicious. So I'm going to download this. And then I'm going to put it in the appropriate directory. And the appropriate directory is over here. And let me take a look at the script file real quick. So it's good with an E at the end, default. Okay, let me rename this. Okay, and then when we start up the game, we're going to see this graphic show up when that character starts talking. So launch project. Oh man, that's way too big. Okay, hello, who is this? So this is supposed to represent the character that we're talking to on the phone. But this graphic is way too big, and this background graphic is way too small. So that's something we're gonna have to work out. Digital Warheads. Sorry, I didn't catch this message from way earlier. Have you used Claude AI? Claude AI. What website do you use to access that? So it's Claude. I have heard about Claude AI. It's a very popular model. So Claude.ai, it's an AI assistant from Anthropic. Digital Warhead, can I assume that you have a lot of experience with Claude AI? So I'm going to go with continue with Google. Okay, Digital Warhead says it's rather impressive. First, let's make. Oh, geez. I need to. Hold on. You know, I'm going to create this, but I'm going to create it off screen. Okay. So everybody, please take a look at the starting screen while I fill out this form. So I'm going to. I need to supply a mobile phone number. Just hold on. And we have to provide a birth date as well. Jeez. What do you find impressive about the Anthropic Claude AI Digital Warhead? And then I have to do the verification code. And how would you compare it to ChatGPT? Okay, we've done it. All right, so I'm going to switch over back to the main screen. And what have we here? So I'm the next generation AI assistant built for work and trained to be safe, accurate, and secure. Okay, I'd love to get to know each other a little better. Pleased to meet you. I enter your full name. I am the Shy Hack. Send. Digital Word says it can generate visual representations on the fly in a separate window, as well as code in a separate window. Oh, all right. I wonder how it compares to the other tools we've been using. So we've also been using Google Gemini, which I use to create these images in pixel art form. And let's see, I've got this. I created these background images as well. And I also created these pictures of HackerFrogs over here, which were quite nice. Digital Warhead says you can check out the stats for how it compares to ChatGPT in the link I posted above. Oh, okay. Let me copy that. Hold on. Getting a little sidetracked, but it's okay. Okay, so try on. Oh, okay. So this is an article talking about how Claude AI compares to ChatGPT, I can only assume. Oh, okay. It's got a bunch of statistics. Okay, let's take Claude out for a spin. A few things to know before we start working together. Usage policy prohibits using Claude for harm. Anthropic regularly reviews conversations flagged by our automated abuse detection. Okay, sure. Claude may occasionally generate incorrect or misleading information. Claude is not intended to give advice. Claude is not intended to give advice. Do not rely on our conversation alone without doing your own independent research. We may change. Yeah, okay, sure. Let's begin. Okay, so let's create some images. Create an image of a Stellar's J. Okay, let's just try this. I apologize, I'm not able to create, generate, edit, manipulate, or produce images. I can only perceive and analyze existing images. I do not have the capability to create new images from scratch or modify existing ones. Okay, so alright, so that's a limitation of this particular model. I guess if you were to use a pro version, it might be different. Alright, so I guess I would use it in a similar way to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT also cannot create images with the ChatGPT.com model over here. But I think, well, Bing can create images. And if I were to go to Bing chat, where is it? Bing chat. Where is it? Here it is. Digital Warhead says, for an example, I can ask it to create the snake game in Python. Yeah, okay. Let me ask if it can create something inside of RenPy. So using the RenPy script language, create a script. How do you spell script? Script for a short game. Let's just ask for a script for a short game. So one great thing about language models like Claude or ChatGPT is that if there's something that you don't know how to do using a certain coding language, you can ask it to create examples, and what you can do is you can ask further questions about any particular piece of code that you may want to get more information on. So I'm going to copy this and see if it actually creates something that is usable inside of the RenPy engine. So I'll make a new project. So I'm going to call this Claude test. Okay, and I'll make this will be the color scheme. So it's just going to take a little bit to create this new project. And Digital Warhead, do you have any? I mean, I guess you probably have a bit of experience creating, writing code. What languages do you feel comfortable coding in? So maybe Python, maybe JavaScript, maybe some other ones. So we've got Claude test, and I'm going to open up the script file over here. And then I'm going to paste in the code that Claude gave us after I delete this placeholder code. Okay, so we've got some code and some dialogue. Hopefully this works. I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to run the game. Okay, so let's start this one. So there's no background, there are no sprites. We haven't made those. And it says, it's my first day at a new school. I'm nervous but excited. Welcome class, we have a new student joining us today. So we have the teacher character, but the teacher character's sprite is not here, so it looks like this. Digital Warhead says, I'm horrible at coding, not my forte. If I had to choose one, I'm probably most proficient at SQL. Should I assume that you know how to do a bit of SQL injection then, or is it SQL for getting information, all the relevant information from a database? Okay, so welcome class. We have a new student. So why don't you introduce yourself? Introduce yourself confidently versus introduce yourself shyly. Okay, sure. Introduce myself confidently. Hi everyone, I'm excited to be here and looking forward to getting to know all of you. The class seems impressed by my confidence. The day goes by quickly and soon it's lunchtime. I'm walking to a cafeteria, someone approaches me. Classmate says, hey there, want to have lunch together? Accept the offer. Sure, that sounds great. Awesome, let's go. I've made my first friend here, things are looking up. As the day ends, I reflect on my experiences. My confidence really helped me today. I think I'm going to like it here. The end. Okay, well, Claude seems to have done pretty good at coding this short snippet for the RenPy engine. I guess I could in the future I could ask Claude to help me out with with coding particular tasks inside of RenPy as I'm developing my game. So something that I really want to implement into the game as soon as possible is a way of looking at your character's statistics. So you're going to be raising a bunch of statistics inside of the game. You know, stuff like maybe computer architecture, or I don't know, like reverse engineering, stuff like that. And it would be nice if you could open up a menu and take a look at what your stats look like at any point in the game. So I'm probably going to be coding something like that into the game as soon as I can. But yeah, if you look at, where is this, Copilot. If you go to Copilot over here, a great thing about Copilot is that you can ask it questions, but you can also ask it to generate images. So create an image of a Stellar's Day posing confidently. Okay, it's going to try to create that. And it looks like I have some Oh, this is nice. So it doesn't exactly look, it looks kind of cartoonish, but I guess I should ask it to create it in a, make it look like it's about to take flight. Okay, sure. Digital Warhead says, as much as I'm not a big fan, I found Copilot to be the best free image generation tool. Yeah, for image generation, well, the thing is that I'm not trying to create photorealistic graphics, which is to my benefit because it's hard to make realistic graphics look good. So Bing didn't really do a very good job here. This one makes it look like it's about to take off, sure, but the rest of these don't look very active. Okay. All right. So let's see. So I've got my I've got a little repository over here all about the CyberFriends game. So if we were to talk about statistics, there's a bunch of different statistics we want to put inside the game. I guess personal statistics over here. I guess I don't know why I put in morality, but I guess morality could be a stat inside the game. And let me make this bigger. So Digital Warhead says, I subbed to Midjourney for a while, and that was the best paid service for image generation I've experienced so far. Oh, okay. So you create you've done quite a bit of image generation using AI. But I don't have as much experience creating images using AI. I'm just kind of winging it. So I guess morality is a measure of how likely a character is to engage in morally dubious activities. This stat can be increased by performing altruistic actions such as volunteering in a soup kitchen, and is decreased by doing evil actions such as stealing data from people's computers or phones. So I guess I don't know if I'm going to keep this kind of statistic in the game because maybe I don't want to have something that rates how moral your character is, But I guess it's a good way to track how many bad things you've done inside the game. So if you decide to hack into people's accounts and steal their personal information and maybe sell the information, then we can track how far your character has gone down the bad person's path. But yeah, so we've got a bunch of stats that we use to track how easily you learn other skills, and maybe we've got our cybersecurity skills over here, like programming. I guess making programming like one skill is kind of I don't know if it's all that great, but if you make programming each individual language its own skill, then that becomes very messy really quick. Digital Warhead says you should check out Matisse Tech on Twitch for AI image generation. He runs his own LLM for image generation and offers his 4090 for viewers to use for free. Okay, let me check that out. I'm going to copy the link and take a look at what this page is all about. So it looks like building out my AI artwork webpage. Try it out and let me know if you have any requests. Huh, interesting. So it looks like, oh, okay. So this person streams on maybe a weekly basis, or maybe on weekends or something. I'll be sure to check this out when I have a little bit of when I have a bit of spare time. I'll save this link in one of my other browser windows rather. But yeah, thanks for the link. I'll check it out. Okay, so that's Matisse Tech. All right, so I think we'll be ending out our stream pretty soon, but I just wanted to show you the engine that we're using to create the game, and maybe a little bit about character creation and integrating art assets into the game. It's been interesting taking a look at. I'll definitely be taking a little bit more of a look over at Claude in my own free time, because I definitely want to. I want to get a sense for which AI models do which tasks better than others. So maybe one's better at coding, and one's better at image creation, one's better at doing some other things. This is the type of thing I need to get a sense for. Let me see who is streaming from the InfoSec streams. We have not only a couple who are streaming in English. We've got Power Blizz. Let's take a look at what Power Blizz is doing. I'll post a video on your subreddit for what turned me onto Claude. Oh, okay. So you have the you know about the subreddit? Okay, that's great. To anybody who doesn't know, we have a subreddit over at r/HackerFrogs, which is Reddit, this one right here. So we've got our weekly schedules over here. This is the last stream of the week, but we post our new streaming schedule on the weekend. And it usually talks about all the different topics we're going to be discussing during the week. Let me take a look at what this InfoSec streamer has going on. So we've got Power Blizz, this guy. They're doing Bitburner hacker game. Bitburner. I've heard of this before. Huh, interesting. But everybody, I'm going to be everybody on Twitch. I'm going to be sending you all over to this channel, Power Blizz, and because we always want to support our InfoSec streamers, I encourage you to join in the raid and to say hi and to say that I sent you there. Everybody, have a great weekend, and until next time, have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Oh, before that, let's do one more Hack the Planet.
Hack the planet! Hack the planet! Shut up again!
All right, see you next time, everybody.